My name is Dr. Suzi Tortora. I'm a dance movement psychotherapist and an infancy mental health specialist. I really combine dance movement therapy principles, infant mental health principles, as well as Laban Movement Analysis principles. I'm a trained Laban nonverbal movement analyst. My work really contains the influence of all of those trainings and study. Very often people ask me what dance movement therapy is, and I actually like to call it dance movement psychotherapy because dance movement therapy often evokes images that you either work with dancers or are doing some kind of physical therapy. So I add the psychotherapy to the title, dance movement psychotherapy, to really highlight the psychotherapeutic emotional element that's really a core part of dance therapy. I speak about dance movement psychotherapy as a way of helping people express themselves and learn about their inner self using movement, dance, the body, and relaxation activities. So I created a term called sense of body to really highlight this idea that we first enter the world from a sensation and exploration on a body and nonverbal level. And that's really, rather than having a sense of self, we first start and develop our sense of self through this sense of our body and through the sense of our body, which is how we explore and learn about the world as well as learn and feel within ourselves. And our first job is to really learn how to organize on a multisensory level all of the sensations that we have internally as well as all the input that we take in from the world around us and create a balance between staying organized and regulated internally so that we can engage in the world externally. This process begins, I believe, even in utero, when we're really attuning to the feelings and the rhythms of our mother. And then, of course, it is influenced through the birth and postnatally, and then through our early years. I really am very involved in studying the importance of the earliest moments and years of our life and how that really sets a template for things that come. With that said, I believe that healing can happen at any stage, and so just because something may have happened early on in your life and in your development that may be difficult, it doesn't mean you have to have a difficult outcome, that we really learn from all of our experiences, difficult as well as strong and positive experiences. So I really believe that we can enter into a healing process at any stage of our life. The important aspect of rhythm that I really pay attention to is the give and take of a relationship. And there's a rhythm to how we share and talk to each other and a rhythm to really feeling connected to someone. And so I really use rhythm also as a way to create that bond and that connection. I make a distinction between movement development and motor development. Motor development are really those developmental tasks of pushing up when you're on your belly, rolling over, pushing up to sitting, pulling up to standing, walking, running, hold on, I left out crawling. How could I do that? Pushing up, rolling over, pushing up to sitting, crawling, creeping, walking, running, etc. Those are really important gross motor skills that we need to learn and are related to our inner coordination. But movement development really has to do with learning about moving through space and also the dynamic qualities of moving through space. So we start in a horizontal plane, and we talk about the horizontal plane being the plane of communication, where we're really learning to take in our environment and connecting to people in the environment around us and objects and things in the environment. That's also related, in the Laban work, it's related to the spatial plane, to spatial efforts and being able to be really direct in looking at something or really taking things in a more sweeping, indirect way. The next phase from there is the vertical plane, and that is related on a Laban effortful movement kind of quality tone. Effort has to do with the tone and the quality of movements. and the feeling tone to an action that is related to what we call the weight element, with the more vertical upward actions having to do with lightness and more downward actions having to do with strength. On a movement level, feeling that vertical plane, we also relate to this kind of I am me plane. Here I am, look at me. It also connects you to your spine and to your core and to your center, and starts getting involved, starts helping you relate, starts helping you feel your sense of balance and being able to really feel your presence. The next movement development level has to do with the sagittal plane, which is the forward and backward plane. We associate that in the Laban terminology with the effort of time advancing, and retreating is also a quality in regards spatially with our movements. And time-wise, we talk about moving forward with more decelerating actions and moving backwards with quickness or accelerating actions. And that element is the other, when I relate it to child development, I talk about it as here I come and there I go. So when you're moving forward and back, you're getting to really have some action upon your environment. And so there's an emotional quality, there's an embodied experiential kinesthetic quality there's an emotional quality and a kinesthetic embodied quality to movement development, and also a social and an environmentally engaging quality, engaging with the world around you quality to movement development that I like to highlight in comparison to just thinking about the motor tasks that are happening on a motor developmental level. So I look at them and how they relate to each other rather than the fact that we only are paying attention to motor development. Why is movement so important in our life? We learn about the world through our experiences, being in the world, the felt experience of being in the world. It seems that our current culture is really creating more and more sedentary activities rather than more active activities. And then the active activities that many children are involved in are very organized. Many children are very involved in sports, in music and things like that, but how much time are they allowed to creatively explore the world around them in their own physical bodies? In infancy, there are so many apparatus that children are now put in at very early ages that can find them or organize or dictate how they're going to explore the world around them. Now, of course, we need some of these apparatus like car seats and things like that, but there are many extra types of apparatus that children play in and are put in that put them in positions that they're not able to stay in on their own. And so I feel like there is a lot of opportunity that children are missing when they are not moving through space through their own initiative, but rather getting placed in space in different positions. So the more babies and young children feel their bodies exploring the world due to their own efforts of exploring the world, the more they're getting a sense of themselves on a physical level, but also an emotional level. That takes us back to my sense of body idea, that we really learn about the world and feel who we are in the world by exploring our world in this felt experiential way. I think about movement, the movement repertoire of an individual from the Laban perspective. The movement repertoire, all the available qualities of movement a person has. And then the next layer is their movement signature, which are the most prominent qualities they use most often. Just like we have our own handwriting signature, we have qualities of movement that we use most frequently, which allow people to identify who we are even when we're walking in front of them and they're not seeing us face to face. And then there's another distillation, which is the movement metaphor, which are those really, really specific actions that we do, or a sequence of actions that we do, or postural actions that really are, I think, distillations of experiences that we've had, that we've embodied in this particular idiosyncratic way. And I find that when I can get into and unwrap this movement metaphor and unfold it and it opens up, you start to really hear and find some of these deeper stories that maybe have gone unconscious on a certain level.